You know, many dance numbers are of course criticized for being a little too sexy or maybe titillating. Has it ever happened with you that you had to put your foot down with a producer or a filmmaker saying, ki, no, I am not going to go overboard with this?
So, coming to the question, there was a part, I think there was a certain time in our film industry, which could be the 80s, I think, the early 80s. You know, those South Indian film remakes were being made, and you know, there was that. But there was also a generation before that where we saw cabarets executed so beautifully. Like if you see a Husn ke lakho rang, kaun sa rang dekhoge, kaun sa ang dekhoge, you see, if you now interpret those lyrics and now the way they kind of did it. Now each genre caters to a certain audience. Now if the audience is today, if we are kind of catering to a spy universe, you have a prototype set in a film called James Bond, where Bo Derek, when she came out of the water in the swimsuit, you felt wow. The audiences felt, yeah, ये ऐसे कुछ होता हो, ये ना, ये spy लोग ऐसे होते हैं, और ये spy universes की जो female characters होते हैं, they are these femme fatales होती हैं. They are these femme fatales. So फिर then we saw the evolution of heroines who became, मतलब हमारे जो cultural के heroines हैं, मतलब जैसे हम अपने शास्त्रों में या वेदों से हमारे जो कल्चरल, हम जो नायिकाएं क्लासिकल में हम लोग एनैक्ट करते हैं, वो कभी सीता माँ है या मीनाक्षी है फ्रॉम दैट टेम्पल या लक्ष्मी जी हैं. ऑल गॉड्स एंड गॉडेसेस वर आर फीमेल कैरेक्टर्स एंड एक्टर्स. सो वी इन क्लासिकल फॉर्मेट डिपिक्ट दोज, लाइक मीरा है, लाइक ऑल दोज mythological characters. With the evolution, characters changed. When the characters changed, the requirement changed. Now, if there is a woman who's supposed to be Jaya Auntie's character in Sholay, she was a widower versus Hemaji's character as Basanti. She was all of fervor. She was the one who had to perform in front of Basanti in Kutto ke samne mat dance karna. But she had to. But obviously Jaya Auntie's character couldn't, right? So, I'm just saying everything is character driven.
Okay. I get it.
It is not about कि प्रोड्यूसर को मन किया है या डायरेक्टर को मन किया या कोरियोग्राफर को मन किया. मन राइटर लिखता है, वो कैरेक्टर, वो किरदार लिखता है, वो किरदार के हिसाब से उसको. अब फॉर इंस्टेंस टाइगर और जोया, टाइगर एंड जोया हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ, राइट? एवोल्यूशन हैपेंड. फर्स्ट दे मेट, she was a spy from another country and he's a spy from India, from raw agent. Now through that evolution, their thing was they married. Now they have a child together, and now where the story progresses, wherein in Pathaan, where Rubai, the character, was meeting, like Pathaan, the spy, was meeting her for the first time, not knowing what her background is and where she's from. So she was meant to be a femme fatale, for instance. So when she was out there in the, so उसका एक mindset है, वो character call है. वो कहाँ है अब? वो जुहू आक्सा बीच के जुहू बीच में अगर उसने जाके वो किया होता, शायद वो अलग. then it would have been the song from साथिया में एक गाना था जो यहीं शूट हुआ था, बीच चोरी पे चोरी, पार्टी सॉन्ग. तो उसका एक अलग फील है. अभी how many beach songs we've seen through the years. अब ये वाला जो स्पेन में जो बीच गाना कर रहे हैं वाटर बॉडी के सामने, वो अब कैसे अलग करें? So for me, my muse became, and I was a woman, so for me, the way I saw Deepika, the way I presented Deepika was a lot different from how people may have perceived it. Now it is up, now I'm not going to sit at that point of time and explain and give them this full spiel and this full documentation of how it is done and why it is done, because nobody asked me at that point of time. But yes, so today to explain to you that story, I think it is why it is. And that's the kind of cinema which is your supposed big ticket cinemas or your big film, your big commercial cinema have certain tropes which they kind of follow, and within those tropes also we kind of try to mold things differently, right?
Really nice to be able to pick the brains of people who work behind the scenes, because you really want to know whatever that is being depicted on screen was the thought behind it, and that's what we try to present.
Yeah, so it's like, for instance, like there are people who have done it for titillation sake. I'm not saying but luckily I have not been part of those. And so your question, to kind of complete that question, what do I do in it? I refuse those songs.
I'm sure.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.